Hi everyone, I'm Smileypeacefun, and this video is a fun and quick baking tutorial. Today I'm showing you how to make coffee-infused chocolate coconut squares. It's almost considered a Swiss staple as it's a pretty well-known dessert in my region. So let's get started. First, here are the dry ingredients for the batter. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 6 teaspoons of cocoa powder, 1 package of vanilla sugar, 250 grams of regular sugar, 300 grams of flour, and a pinch of salt. There are also some wet ingredients that go into making the batter, 200 grams of butter, 3 eggs, and 3 deciliters of milk. Additionally, there are some common tools that will come in handy for this recipe. A cake pan, and yes, I know the dessert is called squares. And if you have a square baking pan, use that one. However, I only had a round one, and yes, it also works with a round cake pan. A spatula, a toothpick, and a mixer alongside a mixing bowl. And with that, we're ready to start. First up, we're gonna add all the dry ingredients into a mixing bowl. So that is the baking powder, the cocoa powder, the vanilla sugar, the regular sugar, the flour, and the salt. Use a spoon to roughly combine everything together. Then take your butter and quickly melt it in the microwave. Add this to the dry mixture. Start your mixer, and as it is mixing, slowly add in your eggs and the milk until it all looks and feels like a well-combined batter. I line my baking pan with some baking paper and pour the cake batter in. This will go into the oven at about 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes. In the meantime, we can start the glaze that goes on top. For that, you will need 50 grams of butter, 200 grams of powdered sugar, 6 teaspoons of cocoa powder, depending on how strong your coffee flavor should be, about 14 teaspoons of cold coffee. And just to make sure, these are all teaspoons, the small ones, not tablespoons, so be careful with your measurements. And lastly, about 75 grams of shredded coconut flakes. Again, we're quickly gonna melt the butter first. Then we add it into our bowl with the powdered sugar. Now, the cocoa powder and the coffee are joining. You can use a spoon to mix everything together into a nice glaze. If the cake is done, use a toothpick to poke many little holes into your dessert. Then add your glaze on top. You can do this while the cake is still warm. We want part of the glaze to actually sink into the holes we just made. For the final touch, sprinkle the coconut flakes over the glaze and let everything cool off completely before you cut the cake into squares. And there you have it, some yummy, coffee-infused chocolate coconut squares made in a typically Swiss fashion. Even though I don't drink any coffee, I really like those bars as a sweet treat. It's truly tasty. I hope you liked this recipe and video tutorial. Hopefully see you next time. I'm Smileypeacefun. Bye!